Good evening, welcome. Parlo un po' in italiano, un po' in inglese e urlo perché non abbiamo il microfono collegato e siccome l'evento di stasera is in live streaming.
We're in English, huh?
Is in live streaming.
We're in English.
We're in English, okay. So it's going to be in English. Let me just get the screens. Hold on a sec. Well, welcome everyone to AI Salon. Who's here for the first time?
Me.
Oh, but quite a few of you. Okay, so it's obviously not very popular. But anyway, let me get back to the. Sorry, without my gelato, it's difficult for me. So I'm just going to go over quickly a bit and tell you a bit about AI Salon. Thank you to our community sponsors, Binario F, who host us, and CEST. And a big thank you to moveax, as they're our sponsors tonight for the networking bit at the end with pizza and beer. Welcome to Roma. AI Salon. What is AI Salon? It's a community. The community was launched in the US by. Okay, sorry. I mean, I always tell my own story, but AI Salon is basically a community that tries to bring together builders and entrepreneurs, founders that are working on AI. And ideally to try and help them meet with other investors and or potential corporate clients. But it's not just that, it's also a community that, oh, I've got to speak over here, otherwise they don't hear me. Sorry, can I not bring this with me? It's also meant to basically help what's the word in English? Bring together all the stakeholders basically around the issue of artificial intelligence. As you all well know, the technology is impacting everyone everywhere across the globe, and there are those that are working on it and are leading edge players, then there are those that are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by what's happening in AI technology. Jeffrey Abbott is the founder and CEO of AI Salon. He's also one of the founders of Blitzscaling Ventures back in the US. One of the people behind Blitzscaling Ventures is Reid Hoffman. He's also CEO of Blitzscaling Academy, and used to work at Arizona State University. Currently, we count about 75 chapters globally, so it's really exploded the AI Salon community globally, with over 1,000 events held so far, with over 4,000 startups that have presented or pitched in front of investors, over 3,000 investors registered on the platform. These are the a list of the chapters. It's interesting to see how it's actually exploded in Italy. So we currently have 5 chapters between Rome, Bologna, Milan, Turin, L'Aquila, and there's another one that will probably come on board now. And quite unexpected, really, to see this sort of explosion in the growth of the community in Italy. These are the people behind the various chapters across Italy: Marta Carboni, Eleonora Barelli, who both work for Fondazione IFAB in Bologna, and then Francesco Ronchi, Loris Sigo. But you can get all this on the website, okay? And a bit of news, just literally 3 or 4 pages of news. Because today is a bit different from the other meetups that we organize in that we usually have startups that do pitch. You get Q&A with investors, but today we're not going to have any startups pitching. It's all, as you know, a big encounter between OpenClaw and Claude agenda later on. But, just a couple of things. You may have heard that Pope Leo released the first ever papal AI encyclical. Well, I mean, obviously the content is ethical and an ethical and political positioning versus what is happening, especially vis-a-vis the big tech companies behind AI. Okay, there's obviously new measures being pushed through EU commissions regarding EU AI Act, the Digital Omnibus. We're at the number 7 version of the AI of the Omnibus, and clearly this is trying to help European countries. We all know Mario Draghi's what Mario Draghi said. The US innovates, China replicates, and Europe regulates. People are desperately trying to change this, and obviously with the new administration in the US, is getting to be a little bit more of a hot topic in Europe. Okay, and we all know what's been happening recently between OpenAI, between Sam Altman and Musk, and Musk has temporarily been sent back home, but he is going to be what's the word? I forget the legal word. He's ricorso. Come si dice ricorso in English? Whatever. Sorry?
Appeal.
Appeal. He's appealing the sentence. Correct. Yeah. So, and again, we as Europeans, Italians, we must make a huge push regarding the 28th regime. It's not looking good, so we need to make our voices heard. I will keep repeating this every time, everywhere we can. Let's keep pushing. Whoever you can contact, wherever you can, whichever associations or you're a member of, make a big push in that. The other bit of good news is it good news? I don't know. But anyway, Anthropic is opening up in Milan. We hope at this point that they may come up and open in Rome. But obviously, there's I don't know if it's the Vatican's presence or what, but they've opened an office. They're opening an office in Italy. So that's a bit of good news. But I want to get on with the rest of the afternoon, the evening. OpenClaw versus, excuse my French, Claude. Now from our special guests, Noemi Musumeci from moveax. I will give her 5 seconds. No, but please come on up. We will then move on to Peter Kruger, who will support the OpenClaw teams, and then afterwards with Marco Galluccio, who will be supporting the case for Claude. Again, if it's the first time for any of you and you want to keep following what's going on, there'll be an interesting next meetup in July. There might be one in June, but I still haven't had confirmation. But anyway, in July, there's something interesting coming up. To keep up with what's going on, just go on luma.com AI Salon. There's a own WhatsApp community, and you can follow us from there. Again, if we've got networking, beat some beer thanks to moveax. If there's anyone else here who wants to sponsor the community, you can write here. Thank you. I will now change slides. Noemi.
Okay.
Before you start, just 1 second. So we're also live on streaming, just in case you don't know. So we would really appreciate if you could relink, retweet, forward, post, share, WhatsApp, and so on. It's very easy. You have to follow my profile because the links are on my profile. On X, it's very simple. PWK, that's my Twitter handle. PWK. And on LinkedIn, Peter Kruger. Peter Kruger. We appreciate if it gets shared. Okay, we want to have a bit of audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Noesis, product manager for moveax, the one who will provide pizza and beer later if you didn't forget. And first of all, sorry because my slides are in Italian, but I'll present in English. And I'm gonna steal you just like 5-10 minutes just to present who we are and talk about our journey till now with agentic AI. So we're moveax. We were born in 2015 in Rome. And we'd like to define ourselves a technology boutique. Why do we do that? Because in like our 10 years experience, we managed to build a lot of custom digital projects designed with our customers. And how did we do that? We can do that because like we're structured into different competence centers, and all of these competence centers have like vertical capabilities, and they're able to manage the whole cycle of the project, starting from the design to the production release, but with a single like centralized governance. As you can see, we have also an artificial intelligence competence center. It was born 4 years ago, and it was born at the beginning with a specific purpose, like to be the way to connect research to real cases projects. So we tried in the first place to bring what the research produced into like real cases to solve real problems from our customers. Of course, at some point, Gen AI came and like the game changed. Okay, so I think that for all the companies in our industries, the advent of Gen AI is something that actually works. Forced us into a rush to rethink our processes and how to use Gen AI into our processes, but of course how to place ourselves in the market with something that was credible towards our clients. And so for us, this journey, let's say, of integrating Gen AI into our processes was something that it's something that is still going on. It's a work in progress because, as I was mentioning, we have different competence centers, so different kind of processes. We have designers, we have developers, we also have a product management part, of course. So we had to figure out the way to integrate AI into different kind of sub-processes. But also we had to understand what the market needed from us. And so how did we approach this new situation? We decided to build our own product, okay, based on different drivers. So the first driver for us was to build something that has as a main principle data sovereignty. Okay, so we know that in some contexts, having the data that doesn't come out of the client infrastructure is something that is non-negotiable. So this was our first driver. The second thing was that we wanted to create something that was, let's say, plug and play, so easy to configure and technology agnostic, let's say. So we also decided to create a product ourselves because we wanted to build competence inside our company and master this new, let's say, this new topic into our company. And so we decided to focus on different use cases. The first one, a bit mainstream now, but I'll mention anyway. We decided to build a RAG on internal documentation. So natural language query to interrogate some documental knowledge base. The second use case we focused on is self-service BI, and it's something that we decided to build also thinking about the needs that some of our clients mentioned. So we built a system to do natural language queries on structured knowledge bases. And more in general, we wanted to build some like agentic architecture that is agnostic from the use cases and allow us to have something that could be built based on the needs of our clients. For example, one use case that we built here is an AI-assisted data catalog, which is something that resulted really interesting for some of our customers. And yeah, basically that's our experience until now. Of course, it's still a work in progress, and we wanted to present our experience today, not only to show how many cool things we did, but also to gather some feedback and start some discussion and see like what other people, other companies are doing right now, because we're facing a period of changes. So I think it's important also to discuss and to confront about what we're currently doing right now. So thank you.
Okay, Peter, I think it's you next.
Here I am.
All right. So today you'll see a lot of this moving around with
Slides, and that's by design. It's not by that's because we're doing it badly. It's because this is not a pitch session. It's not a pitch session. We're here to see use cases. Now, before I make my great case for OpenClaw, just a few useful information about the event today. I think, where's Roberto? I think this is the first time anyone has put these two giants and behemoths one against the other. So, I mean, isn't it exciting? Come on. Yeah. Come on. I mean, you know, people are freaking out about, is it better OpenClaw, Hermes, or, Claude, and so on. And it all started a couple of months ago when we had our OpenClaw meetup here, not here, in a room nearby. Very successful, huge excitement, and it started like So we, at the post-mortem of the event, especially with Marco, we realized we were mainly talking about, is it better Claude? Is it better OpenClaw? So that's the moment when, don't worry, they can hear me, even online. We thought, no, we have to do this. We have to do this. No one has done it, okay? Let's pit one against the other. Let's build this battleground and see. Of course, it's for fun. But let's see. What's coming out of these also different philosophies. The more open on one side, the more kind of secure corporate on the other, and so on. So this is the reason why we did this. Today we're going to have 5 use cases. We were hoping 6, but unfortunately one had a problem, couldn't come. So it's going to be so Claude is starting with a massive advantage. Let's say that, because it has 3 use cases, whereas OpenClaw has only a couple. But I can tell you a pretty cool use case. Anyway. Before that,
let me remind you that, again, I didn't see many likes. We're live streaming on YouTube, first of all. So if you want to share that link, make your own post, you go on the Urbe Hub YouTube channel. So you don't have to post anything related to me. Use the link, share, because we want to have also audience. The audience, the online audience, is also going to be in a position to vote. Okay. Then, if not, you have my X profile. Let me remind you, very simple Twitter handle PWK. Very shortly, I created it in 2007. That's the reason. And there's my profile on LinkedIn, and you can find it there. And I really invite you to share it and do whatever you want. Okay, now what's the case for? Why do I make a case for OpenClaw? Okay, quickly, I'm an investor. I invested in these things that go around Miami distributing food, but also AI applied to agri-tech. And I'm also active as an entrepreneur. This is AutoBench, this system that we are developing in collaboration with Translated, but also with Roma University, La Sapienza, where we use LLMs basically to do the whole show of benchmarking LLMs. And the cool thing is that we discovered that this kind of methodology can enable us to do a bunch of other cool things, like, for example, developing an LLM router, sort of a task-aware LLM router, not developing, training it, actually.
In English, we say router.
Yeah, you say router, I say router, you say potato. Okay, no, I like router, I like scheduling. Anyway, and this thing, other applications that we've figured out is also a very cool way of doing distillation of LLMs. Instead of using a master model, we use a pool of models. That's pretty cool. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go back to the main reason why I today am going to play the role of champion for OpenClaw. So if you were at our previous event, you know that I developed this thing. Nothing special, super assistant. I like Roman mythology, so all these sub-agents are basically Roman goddesses, and they have, Flora and Juno and Venere, Venus, Latin names, of course. And with this superpower assistant, my life pretty much changed about 3 months ago. I haven't changed it since. It's working. It goes on. People are complaining they have to update. I haven't updated anything. It just works marvelously. So let me remind few, I think, key concepts of why OpenClaw is really, really cool. Okay, because I think that there's been a discussion over the past years, I guess, sparked initially by Carpati, Andrei Carpati, about the AI OS. And I think after a couple of years, what we've seen is that we're having more than an AI OS, but more of an AI computer. It's a new concept where LLMs don't really play the lead role. It's really more this kind of infrastructure, mainly deterministic, actually, that is, handling the resources on a computer, including, of course, using LLMs to manage autonomous actions and so on. I won't go into the detail, but I think my personal forecast is in the next couple of years, but most likely it's going to happen in the next couple of months. We will start seeing computers that natively come out with this layer, with a completely new layer, with an agentic layer, which is basically shaped out of this concept. Okay, so something like this. We're starting to look to something like this, not probably like this, more of a reptilian brain. It's something that, so as a reptilian brain, still not a mammal brain, a reptilian brain. So kind of limited in planning, limited in way it processes memory, but still it starts to have, well, of course, interfaces with the rest of the world. It manages to process memory, maybe not in a very smart way, but still it starts handling that. And especially has this sense of time, of permanency. It's not anymore just a cron tab, cron process here or there. This is an object that has a heartbeat, which gives it the time of living. And then the other, I'm not going to go into the stochasticity versus determinism. That's a very interesting topic, but not here. Okay, so what we've seen is since OpenClaw came out, there's been this kind of Cambrian explosion of all kinds of different lobsters. We're still in the depths dealing with lobsters, but many kinds of different lobsters. You've got Nemoclaw, supposedly, corporate friendly, Nanoclaw, light version. Then you've got Ironclaw, the robust, secure one, and of course, very popular recently, Hermes. Everyone, I haven't tried it yet, to be honest, but everyone is so, hyped with it. Anyway, so we're seeing this kind of explosion, and yeah, very, very similar to the Cambrian explosion. The Cambrian explosion, 450 million years ago, there was basically no life. I mean, it was life, but not, complex, or at least, sufficiently complex and not so widespread. And then all of a sudden, boom, it comes out. And this is what we're seeing. And also what we're seeing in terms of Claude, in a sense, is a reflection, is a reaction to what OpenClaw has triggered. And it's not just Claude, of course. Every major AI lab is now looking at agentic features and so on. To my surprise, even Copilot on PowerPoint started making almost decent slides. Let's try it. So thank you, OpenClaw, also for that. So what are the key features and cool things? And when I'm saying OpenClaw here, I'm not just referring to OpenClaw, the one the original one, but also this huge variety of derivatives that we've seen. Well, of course, the gateway, handling the connections, handling the relationship with the external world, okay? This very cool thing of the persistent memory, and especially this kind of always on mode, which makes it very, very similar to a biological organism. The fact that it takes real actions, basically hijacks your computer, so everyone, then you have to deal with the security with that. But it really can interact at all levels, depending on how much control you give it with with the whole system. Another cool thing, and I think this is where we're starting to deviate a little bit from other solutions out there. Of course, it offers you total sovereignty. Someone was mentioning, Roberto, were you mentioning sovereignty? Okay, so more digital kind of sovereignty on the data that you use. It is open source, so totally auditable and modifiable, extremely extensible by nature of being open source. And the very fact that we're seeing so many different versions is a proof of the fact that it's extremely flexible and open to changes and so on. Another cool thing, it's modal agnostic. Which is not, it's quite important because, for example, in my experience, I started using OpenClaw, basically using Claude, and my bill in the first month reached $1,000 in token consumption. Then I figured out how to work it out, how to make it work. I started using more kind of tailored models on some agents and so on, and now I'm spending 75 cents a day. Okay, pretty useful thing. Okay, but of course there are also some drawbacks. Okay, of course, huge scares in terms of security. How much really scary those are, I don't know. It really depends very much on how much you invest in building the system and protecting it, I guess. As always, as all open systems, of course, it has a steep learning curve. it's a very kind of complex system. Anyone that has to, had to go and start operating with it has had a kind of a few hard weekends. But then, once you start understanding the way, especially the balance between stochasticity, the LLM part of it, and the more deterministic part of it, then it becomes a way easier system to employ. And yes, you are the security guard. Okay, I mean, security is a serious thing. You have to take care of it, and which of course is it's a massive burden. So don't want to influence the jury yet, but a little bit. So what are the main differences here? Well, this is it's a system. Whether it's installed on AWS or on your little server at home, something that you're basically managing, even though maybe you're using APIs to explore the usage of LLMs and so on. Of course, Claude provides a very robust infrastructure, but you're delegating all that part to it. It's this is something that I think that Claude still hasn't really come across, not in the same way OpenClaw is doing, this kind of always on, this kind of permanency of the experience. Most agentic implementations I've seen don't really need it, but in some cases it is actually useful. Whereas OpenClaw, Claude is a little bit more on demand and tailored to that. Model agnostic, which means I can also use models that cost me like a tenth of a cent per call. Whereas, of course, when you're using Claude, even if you use Haiku, that's a pretty expensive model, okay, compared to some open source solutions. And of course, sovereignty, full auditability, data ownership, privacy, and so on. And Anthropic, of course, has a massive reputation of being extremely reliable and privacy compliant and so on, but still kind of a black box, right? So I think these are the things that we should be looking at. So we're going to have two use cases for OpenClaw. Luca, Rossi, team OpenClaw is over there. You can see, they're kind of, they're cool people, right? I mean, OpenClaw people, they're the coolest, right? So Luca Rossi, of course, who's going to, show us Tolaria, very, very interesting solution that at some point was in the top 10 raising stars in GitHub, right, with 11K stars. I mean, wow, impressive. And then we have Azzam, who is instead a master of agents. I mean, it's not just that he has 158 AI agents, but he's using like 4 or 5 different infrastructures. I mean, I completely got lost there, but he still manages to put it all together. Okay, so that's as far as OpenClaw is concerned. But now let's leave the stage to the Claude champion.
Thank you,
Marco Galluccio.
Thank you, Peter. So I will ask you a little bit for the switch that we are going to do. So I will stand by Claude, but just because they are paying me. So that's the thing, actually. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, they're not paying me, or maybe I'm paying them. So it's kind of yeah.
Already that's the case.
Yeah, not so much maybe, but yeah, exactly. So hello everyone. I'm Marco, and today I will stand by Claude, but actually in my presentation you will understand that it's not I don't stand by Claude, but actually I use Claude for building my operating system, agentic operating system. So 2 words about me. I co-founded the Urbe Hub, that is a co-working and event space in Rome, in Testaccio neighborhood, in the Città dell'Alta Economia. And we have like this co-working in event space for builders, AI, blockchain, whatever builders that is doing something cool with frontier techs. And also I became an AI enthusiast, and I don't know how I became also an AI consultant lately, because I deep dive so much in the AI agents, Claude Cowork, Claude Code, Hermes, or whatever, OpenClaw also sometimes, but not so much. And yeah, so just 2 words about the Urbe Hub. We have this little co-working in event space. If you want to visit us, it's like I said, it's in Testaccio, and we run a lot of events about frontier tech, so about blockchain, AI, and other cool stuff. And so also we train a lot of builders. We have like a very solid part of freelancer there that are very skilled with new technologies. So if you want to check it out, and if you want to visit us, always welcome. So why Claude? Not because they are paying me, unfortunately, but I was here 2 months ago holding like a presentation in the OpenClaw meetup, and my thesis was back then was like very early thesis. That was not. It is not important the uh, the LLM or the tool. The only thing that is important is your context, because you can create a very cool context. You can create a very cool folder structure, whatever, and then you can plug whatever model agent you want. And though that was a thesis, I don't know if it was working or not. And this is was what I was showing back then in 2 months ago. So it was an operational system. I had my Claude MD, context, the briefing, memory, all the subfolder with all the context. My Claude was going inside this folder structure and helping me with my day-to-day work with my company, with my hub, with my co-working space, and everything. This is where I'm at now. So it changed a little bit. Maybe it's too much. I upgraded it a lot of times, maybe 4 or 5 times in these 2 months. And I created this not only an operating system for myself, but I created this operating system for my company. And this operating system is just a folder structure. So there is Claude MD that could be called Agents MD if I want to go on Codex, or maybe on OpenClaw or whatever. I have my memory that is custom built by myself for my needs, for my goals. And I have all these folders that where all the context is in. So the agents, human, and also not human agents like Hermes, goes inside this folder structure, and they can act and do things for me in my behalf, and also when I'm sleeping. Also, this architecture goes on GitHub, and so is always on. And like you said, like you can see here, I can also plug in other agents. Actually, I installed Hermes 2 weeks ago. It was like a kind of interesting one, because I said to Claude, I want to install my Hermes agent. Then I Hermes on VPS. I gave to Claude the possibility to go inside this VPS, and Claude started to write everything inside the Hermes. I didn't do anything. I just said I want an employee that works during the night while I'm sleeping. And he created all this infrastructure for Hermes. So why I'm showing you this? Because I built this with Claude. Everything and also I copied OpenClaw. Most of OpenClaw, I copied it. So Claude gave me the possibility from starting from zero experience in agentic things or coding or whatever, gave me the possibility to build all of this that is working, that gave me the possibility to expand my knowledge, my business or whatever. And so I say that why Claude? Because also if you are paying 90 or 200 euros, because if you pay 20, you are not doing anything with Claude, of course. And so it opens many doors. So interoperable. So there are a lot of things inside Claude that have like co-work, code, skill, you have Claude design, and you can live inside this ecosystem. So I started with co-work. Then after 1 month, I switched to code because I understood that co-work has like some limitation. Sometimes are useful, sometimes are not. And also, if you want to do handoff to Claude design, you can do it. You can do handoff back to Claude code or whatever. You can build your own skill. There are just pre-made skills. It's very cozy. It's very close, but also easy to use and everything. Also, it's even for not coders. I'm not a coder. I never wrote a single line of code, but I deployed I don't know, many apps and websites, and also these slides are on HTML, and they live inside my folder structure. So it's very useful for all the people. And also it's like extensible. It's like you can connect all your plugins, skills. I was one of the first, I think, one of the first adopter of Claude Co-work. I remember that in the first part, that the plugins were downloaded by 2,000 people, now are downloaded by millions. And they are implementing more MCPs, more plugins every day. Every day that I goes on Claude, things that I never do anymore because I just go by my terminal. You can see more things. And also, another thing that is not mentioned here that I wanted to mention about Claude is that when you use a lot Claude and Anthropic models, you are starting to familiarize with these models like a real employee. And I discovered it by using also Codex. Because if you use like Anthropic models, they are like more as sparring partners. They ask you questions, they give you feedbacks, they are better with brainstorming, that really helps you to do these kind of things. Instead, if you use Codex, that you can, like I said, plug and play on whatever folder structure, is always interoperable. And if you plug Codex, it's very straightforward. So you say, do this, and he will do that, for sure. And without asking anything. So also, I think that when you're starting to use this kind of models, you're also starting to be used to it, like an employee. So it's kind of interesting, also a little bit scary. And these are the champions for Claude, Antonio, Valerio, and Marco. They're building all cool things, but I think that we can start with the presentation. But one last thing, in order to vote, you can scan this QR code. You have to do the login with Google, hopefully that you have, and you will see like dashboard to vote, and I will enable voting for each after each presentation. By the way, everything is done by Claude, so if something broke, it's his fault, not mine. And so yeah, these are the 3 categories: coolness, effectiveness, and efficiency. Yeah. Also, if you don't scan the QR code, is app.urbe.biz/voda. And yeah, I think that we can start. What do you say, Peter?
Let the battle begin.
Let the battle begins. Perfect. So, as the first one, I will call from Claude. So, Antonio Specchia here for Noesis hiring.
Noesis hiring.
Noesis, sorry.
Noesis.
Noesis.
Okay. Hey, hi everybody. Antonio. Just a couple of questions. Who among you started to search for coworkers and found difficulties. No one? Oh, okay. Good. And who among of you went on the job market and found frustration?
Even worse.
Even more. Okay, good. So, business complain that they don't find people. They don't find the right people. The talent shortage. While people complain, there is no dialogue. There is no listening. There is no contact with the companies. So there is clearly a missing dialogue. If the party don't talk each other, they will never understand. Okay? So 30 years ago, Rossi in the marketing established the change of the paradigm from transactional to relationship. It was born the relationship marketing. Later, also the supplier, supply chain, everything become relational. The only stakeholder who remain transactional is the applicant. Someone who is keen to join the organization is outside, is not in yet, but is keen to join the organization and is a very strategic position because it's half in, half out. No? So there is in the literature, there is a difference between multiple hurdle and compensatory assessment. Multiple hurdle is when you fill up different obstacles and each obstacle eliminates you. No matter how good you are in other things, but that obstacle just eliminates you. Compensatory instead is an approach that takes account of many aspects and pull all of them together to evaluate you as a whole. I'm Antonio Specchia. I am a serial entrepreneur, a mentor, business angel. I'm an author at Routledge. How do you say Routledge or Routledge?
Rutledge.
We say Routledge. I'm also a researcher. I came across the job market last year and I discovered that the job market is broken. It really needs a change. So with my group of researchers, we studied and we developed a new paradigm. We call it ARM, Applicant Relationship Management, from Customer Relationship Management. So I decided to put it on operational because what I wanted to build, and I'm also a one-man band. My company is me. I'm the developer, I'm a strategist, I'm everyone. So what I wanted to develop was not a new ATS, faster filter, but something that enable applicants to discuss the CV. Because the map is not a territory, so the CV is a piece of paper where there is impossible to get a whole person. Okay, so understand the CV is just the first step and is never done properly. What I imagined, Claude is so good in talking to us that he can also inquire over our CV. So now my system that I will show you is here. This is the dashboard where all the applications come in. Claude immediately answer. Just the CV entered, Claude answers and asks more context on the CV. It asks if some requirement is missing, and here says, I'm just an AI, I may lack of understanding, I may miss it. Please clarify if that requirement is there and I don't see it, or it's just missing by the CV, and you can provide more context for it. So we can see, or they are all fake, don't worry. There is a ranking, of course, based on the skill deeper. How deep are you in each skill? And the ranking enables the recruiter to select by batch who to interview. I'm making this thing simple, but what Claude also does, let me see if I can find it out. Here. Okay. This one is what I call the interview strategic planner book. This is completely developed by Claude. It's a full analysis of the CV and all the interaction the applicant had with the CV, with Claude itself. And there is a SWOT with a, let me show the SWOT. Can you see it's quite deep and complete? The SWOT clarify where the applicant can be strong, where are the weakness, the development areas, and so on. So it also prepare for the interview itself. So anyone, not just a professional recruiter, but my initial view was the entrepreneur, maybe a small entrepreneur who doesn't have a HR department, doesn't have the knowledge to interview people, and most of the time arrive to the interviewer and say, tell me about you. What can I tell you? Maybe correct a question I can ask, I can answer. So here there are also the right answer to show to the applicant, to go deep where there is more uncertainty. Of course, behind that there is a whole system managed by mainly Claude, but not only. I won't show you everything, but the point is, it's not that multiple hurdle was better than compensatory assessment. Compensatory always existed. In the 90s and 80s, we were talking with the recruiter directly. There were no internet, no online application, and you just talk to people, and they understood what you present in real life. Now that everything is online, the ATS developed the elimination faster. The faster, the better. So it's not because multiple hurdle was better than compensatory; it was just more efficient in eliminating people. Claude and the LLM enable now us to talk with people again at scale. So this is why the opportunity is now. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now I'm opening the votes for Noesis hiring.
Do you all have the app? I mean, the link?
Yeah.
Everyone? You have to have it. You want to show the,
Put it back
flash
on
the,
I will
QR
call
code again?
pull back. Yeah.
Don't be shy. You want to have the QR code. You're going to put it on, or you can go on my profile, my profile, and you'll find the post, and there's the QR code, and also my LinkedIn profile post. Okay, so you have no excuses. Okay, guys. You'll be asked to vote on 3 categories. Correct, Marco?
Yes.
Yeah. So, category number 1, coolness. How cool is it? Is this app doing something really cool? Something that you haven't seen, something that is innovative, breakthrough, and so on. 2.
Mi piace. Mi sono spenti.
Watch out, you didn't.
No, I didn't. Sure.
2.
Effect inverse, so you can read.
Okay. Second category, efficacy. Does it get the job done? Does it solve the problem that it tries to address? Is it working? And third, efficiency. Was it hard to develop or was it easy to develop? Easy to develop should be a plus. Is it expensive? Is it cheap? Cheap, good. Expensive, bad. And so on. Okay, so three categories. You guys have how much time left do they have?
I don't know.
Couple of minutes. And in the meantime,
yeah,
we can have it's your turn. Yeah, right.
Okay.
So
I'm switching the.
You'll need your computer or
Your computer. Yeah.
Roberto's. So in the meantime, anyone doesn't have a QR code? Anyone?
It's app.urbe.build/vota.
Okay.
It's working, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go.
working. It's working.
Everyone voted. Good job, Claude. Good job, Claude. Has everyone voted? Yes.
Yes.
You still thinking about it? Anyone still thinking about it? Can we close it?
Closed.
But we still don't have a screen.
Yeah, technical topic.
No, questi accesono
No, è
telecomando.
È blu.
Mi piace lo switch.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Of course,
OpenClaw già non funziona.
we have thousands of people connected live in this moment. No, we have 17. But hopefully also people online have managed to vote. Wait a minute.
I see 30 voters, so many.
You have to share.
Oh, there are more
maybe
than
the
20
right
people
screen.
here.
I don't know.
Come on, guys.
Come si
Hey.
fa?
I cannot pull myself, but
Maybe-
Come on, guys. I mean, everyone votes.
No, displays.
If you have this extra time, you can, send me the QR
Questo
code.
qua è di Compose.
Remember, my profile.
Mirror, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So, hi everyone. Thank you for inviting me and having me here. My name is Luca, and I'm mainly a content creator. I'm a writer of Refactoring, which is a newsletter and a podcast for software engineers and managers about how to write good software with AI. It's read every week by more than 170,000 engineers. It's one of the biggest newsletters in the world for tech. I'm very happy about it.
Say that louder. Say that
Yeah,
louder.
One of the
Speak
biggest
louder.
in the world. Yeah, actually, it was the biggest newsletter on Substack written by an Italian guy up until a couple of months ago, and then Selvaggia Lucarelli decided and crushed us completely. But
How many subscribers?
175,000
Wow.
right now. Yeah. And since about 1 month, I'm also the maintainer of Tolaria, which is a desktop application, open source, for managing Markdown knowledge bases, both for humans and AI. And basically, I'm here to present this and how I use OpenClaw to develop this application, which became very popular, and I will tell you more about that. So I'm Team OpenClaw, and my general approach with OpenClaw, not just with Tolaria, but with everything, is to basically create a replica of myself. So allow him to make decisions and do things exactly how I would make them, giving him access to everything I have. Granted, some of them like read only, like it has access to my email, but it can't write email, because I'm saying this upfront because everyone is asking me this. But it has access to everything, to tasks, calendar, meeting transcripts, and most of all, my knowledge base. Because as a creator, I write a lot of notes, a lot of things, and so it's more than 10,000 notes. And so Brian, which is the name of my OpenClaw, knows basically everything about my life. And so for the past 3 months, I've used OpenClaw and also Claude Code. So I'm a bit, Team OpenClaw, but also some love for Claude too, to develop Tolaria, which, as I said, is this open source desktop app, and it's a sizable app. Okay, so it's more than 150,000 lines of code. As of today, almost 3,000 commits. And the idea was to develop this at the highest possible standards for code quality and code health. So more than 90% test coverage, a lot of documentation about technical choices, architecture decision records for the agents to go through when they had to make a new decision. And code quality enforced like 10 out of 10 as measured by several tools and sensors like CodeSyn and Codacy. And released it 1 month ago. The reception was incredible, more than 10,000 stars in like a couple of weeks. For 1 week, it has been number 8 fastest growing rep in the world. Now it's not anymore, but was super proud of that. And the way I developed this was, I'm sorry, the most important part, I wrote 0 lines of code. Because it actually was also, I'm a former CTO and software engineer, so I know how to code, but this was done in Rust, with Tauri, with things that I've never touched in my life, so I don't even know the syntax, okay? And I read almost none. I mean, yes, some lines of code to check at a glance, but I mostly reviewed architectural decisions and the harness, as they call them, for the agent, for the coding agent, as opposed to the single lines of code. And I did that combining 2 agents. This is a screenshot of the actual application. So you can imagine something similar to Obsidian for those who are familiar with it, or Notion, but it's offline. It's local first, so it works on your files and allows you to create these kind of spaces and knowledge bases to write in Markdown and collaborate with agents on the same content. Okay, so it's a little bit nerdy for note-taker nerds like me, but I developed it for me, and I thought maybe there are like 10 to 15 other people who may like this, and it's that. Turns out it's more.
Can we download it?
Yes, absolutely. It's available on Mac, Windows, Linux, and so yeah, it works with all coding agents. So yeah.
Where do we go?
I am on Tolaria.md or on the GitHub repo, but the main website is Tolaria.md. So the way I developed this is by combining the knowledge that Brian, my OpenClaw, has about how I like to do things and my vision, and so employ him as a product manager, and Claude Code more like a software engineer. And I think the development part of it is not super interesting. I don't think it's rocket science. I think what's interesting is that once the software was released as open source, I learned, because it was the first time I'm a maintainer of a sizable open source project. Open source projects are hard to maintain because you receive inputs from a lot of different channels that you need to parse and deduplicate and figure out what to do with. So as of today, there are many channels from which there is information that leads to things to be done on Tolaria, right? Because there is the telemetry of the software, the logs, crashes, and in the application. There are GitHub issues that the users, that are mostly engineers, are very eager to report, I have to say. There is the product board on Canny where users suggest new features. There are PRs, or other engineers that implement features by themselves, and you have to figure out what to do with them. And then, last but not least, I would like to do also some of my own ideas on the application. And also, it's worth saying that all these channels are super messy because users make mistakes all the time. So they submit bug reports as feature requests, or vice versa, okay? Or they don't look at what exists already, and so they create duplicate items for anything, okay? And so there is a lot of traffic control that goes into this to make sure that the backlog that you end up with is something sane, that you can go through. And that's what OpenClaw does right now. So it does intake, so it gets the items from all these sources, does a lot of cleanup, deduplicates, routes to the correct channels, replies to people and says, that's nice, but this is a bug, it should go here, or this is already reported, thank you again, release a vote here, and so on. And then when it gets to the healthy items, it creates tentative specs. So product specs based on what the vision for Tolaria is, what exists already, past decisions we've made about technology that needs to be respected, and so on, and creates the actual tasks on a big Kanban board, which acts like a single surface of collaboration and handoff, let's say, between OpenClaw and either Codex or Claude Code or any coding agent. So OpenClaw has actually its own procedures that it goes through. These are, I know it's very small, so I don't probably you can't read it, but it's handled in Tolaria. There are all these procedures that help OpenClaw know what it has to do to get things from GitHub, Kenny, and so on. And when it has done this, puts everything into, this is even smaller probably, a giant Kanban board on Todoist, so super simple tool, no rocket science. And here are PRs, stuff that is ready to be taken, stuff that is sketchy, all in draft, I need to figure it out. And the coding agent takes things from the open queue and works on them and puts them in review for me to review. And then about once a day or every other day, I release a new stable version of Tolaria. And now actually there is basically the reverse job to be done. That is to reconcile everything that has been done on the product and go back to all these channels and close the issues that have been fixed, set as complete the features, reply to the users saying, hey, you reported this, now this has been fixed, maybe unstable. Can you check if this is fixed for you now, and so on. So this is a ton of work that I would have never be able to do by myself. In fact, after this, I have a ton of admiration for open source maintainers. I really don't know how they can manage this, especially before AI. It was a nightmare for me, a nightmare. And the result is that, mind you, this is just like 3 weeks and 3 days of work since I released Tolaria. There are only 8 open issues out of more than 400 that people submitted. Only 9 open pull requests out of more than 300. The average bug fix time is close to 1 day from when you submit it to when it's fixed. On average, we do about 30 commits per day. And I managed to work on Tolaria about 2 hours a day because then I have other work to do and other things. And so that's it. Thank you.
We have to remember, we have a Q&A session. Those also, okay, so I have a question. Okay?
Please.
The one I'm most fascinated is, it's the topic of permanency.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this kind of injection, continuous injection of bugs, reports, and things. How are you managing it? Are you managing it with webhooks, with Heartbeat? How do you price?
So I have separate procedures for each of the channels to do the intake. Let's say so. It's one of a GitHub, one of a Can, it's one, and they run every hour, shifted one another. And then they send, and the intake procedures just acknowledge what has been received and do traffic control. They shift it to other channels if they land in the wrong channel. And then there is another procedure that is to create the specs of the features actually from the proposals of the users. It's actually a little bit more complex because they also have to figure out if the feature is already there actually, or maybe they made a mistake here. Maybe they think it's a bug because they think it's a feature that is already there, but it's not there, so it's a feature request. But it's a separate procedure. So the philosophy is to create small procedures so that the context is small for the instructions and have it run hourly. Because webhooks, I don't think it's worth it anyway. It's easier to run on a schedule.
And are you
Both are
developing-
open, just to say.
Both
are
thank
open.
you.
And are you still developing it, or is it now just operational?
No, I'm developing it pretty much. The biggest bottleneck right now is that, let's say, the bug queue is easy because bugs need to just be replicated and fixed. There is very little strategic decision about that. The bottleneck is with feature requests because feature requests need my own, taste and decision about whether I want to do this or not. And so there's a big queue of feature requests. It's 130 feature requests on the board, and so that's that's what I spend the most time on during the day, deciding actually what to build and what not to build.
But this is more about, features of the platform. I was talking about the procedure. The procedure running on OpenClaw.
Yeah,
that's stable.
Yeah, no, yes, it's pretty stable until I update OpenClaw. You're very wise not to update, never update OpenClaw. But small tweaks here and there, but it might be something like, okay, other than putting the task on the Kanban board, give it a vote like red, green, yellow to give me more signal about this and that stuff, small things, but the system pretty much works.
Basically, Peter Steinberg.
Mini Peter Steinberg. The difference that Peter Steinberg spends about $1 million per month in tokens, so that's a little difference. Yeah.
How do these procedures are mapped? Are they inside context file that describe exactly what you want to do for that specific task?
Thank you for your excellent question. They are mapped exactly in Tolaria, which is it's a GitHub repo. They're mapped, outside of the tool for opening them, it's a GitHub repo. So files and folders, just like the other example, because I find that agents in the file system, they're super good at working on files, super fast, they can grab and fetch everything. And so that's why I developed Tolaria in the first place. I was a big user of Notion. Notion is great, but if you can work locally, I think the AI is leaps and bounds better. And so it just has this workspace with a structure that it knows how to operate, create new procedures. Yes.
I just wanted to ask, because I've worked in the TensorFlow team at Google for a while. I know the struggle of, as you said, of working open source, because lots of people, and this is a talk that you should give to bigger audiences. This is already a big audience, but really this deserves to, because I've seen many developers over the years almost quitting their project because it was so hard for them to keep going.
Yeah, but we mentioned OpenClaw itself. OpenClaw up until a few weeks ago had like 30,000 open issues and 30,000 open PRs. And then Peter, who by the way refused to appear on my podcast, and so I
stop following.
Bad guy. The airline swamped. I've done too many podcasts already.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Say hi to Peter, who of course is listening to us. But yeah, he implemented the automated system because he was drowning in issues and PRs and feature requests, because otherwise you can't keep up.
Invite me. Any other questions? No?
I did enough question asked.
Yeah, maybe. Any questions for this guy?
No?
I see Roberto has a question.
No.
Peter the OpenClaw, not Peter.
Please.
Sorry for taking the microphone too much. But no, the question is, I saw your dashboard, the one that you created for the I mean, I guess invented applicant. But I think HR people, because I know some HR people, the dashboard needs to condense more of what the applicant is about, because nobody is going to read like the encyclopedia full of text, which I really appreciate that you've done, but it needs to be more visual and more to the point for HRs to adopt it.
Are you talking about the interview strategic planner book, not the dashboard? The dashboard is the black one, where, okay, now you have seen only a bit of the dashboard. The interview strategic planner book is effectively quite long, yes, but I'm sorry. The point is, everyone wants something straight and say yes or no, hire it or not. Hire him or her or not. I don't want that, because the AI cannot decide if you can hire or not hire someone. That's strictly by the law and strictly my value. You have to read, you have to read. No shortcut. Sorry.
Okay, any other question? I want to try that.
Yeah.
No, I want to try it. I want to, can I use it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Now, already.
No, later. No, but did you give us a link to?
No, yeah.
No, yeah.
I have
You're
to
still
create an account
planning.
for you, I make an account for you, and you can use it. Yep.
Okay, great, cool.
Next.
Perfect. So if you want to vote still for Tolaria, you can. And
Yeah,
in the
vote.
meantime,
Did you vote? Did everyone vote? Did you vote?
yeah, come on. And
How many votes? How many votes?
I see many votes.
How many?
Now we are 34 voters and 169 vote casts. So I don't know if it's true, but it's okay.
Nice.
And now Neuron AI, Valerio, stage is yours.
Okay.
For Claude.
Yeah. Hi guys. Just 1 minute of context before showing you the demo I prepared to contribute on the Claude side of this context. And yeah, I'm the creator of this kind of interesting framework because Neuron AI is the first agentic framework in the PHP ecosystem. It was born inside this company, Inspector.dev. I'm CTO and co-founder. And yeah, we started in, we released the first version of this open source project in March 2025, where basically the entire, agentic application development discussion was just about Python. So releasing a PHP framework to work on this stuff, it was like a Napolitan ordering pizza with pineapple, something very, very strange for people out there. But the problem was really clear, because for companies that are not working natively in Python, it was basically impossible to wake up tomorrow morning and just throw everything away to pursue the agent development opportunity. Every technology ecosystem should have its harness, its framework, its dedicated architecture. And we start receiving messages, public messages that are in the Neuron AI repository of people that were losing their jobs because companies are thinking to leave the PHP ecosystem and go to Python. So basically, Neuron started to save these kind of jobs. In just 1 year and a half, almost, we are the first agentic framework in the PHP space. globally with some kind of interesting numbers. And unlike Luca, I write a lot of code. Okay, so these are just some links if you want to explore the project, see what we are building. There is a growing ecosystem towards the framework. And next Friday, we are going to host the first event in Italy of the Neuron AI ecosystem. It's sold out, so sorry, you can participate now, maybe on. So, working on an agentic framework, for me, it was basically now the challenge of using agentic coding assistant to build agents. So agents building agents. Sounds interesting? Okay, I just prepared this video because, you know, in the live events, I try to do this work, this task multiple times, but it took no less than 4 or 5 minutes. So I just registered the video. We can move forward just to show you what happens when you put this framework in the hand of Claude Code. So starting from the documentation, there are skills that you can put into your project folder. Now I'm installing the agent skills for Claude Code. I took some, you know, agent creator, tool creator. Now I'm going to start Claude. And I want to show you the prompt that I used to run this task, basically. I don't know, I can make it bigger. Okay, I think this can see. Yeah, so just now to build a business intelligent agent. So something that can connect. I choose the SQLite database. It's basically a local database you can run in your machine, so just for easy of the project. And I asked the Claude Code to basically build all the tools that the agent needs to explore the database, give you some example, and create the business intelligence agent with clear system prompt, a SQLite toolkit, because the Neuron AI, there is this concept of toolkits. Use the agents kit. I just add a bit of boilerplate into the project directory to just give starting point for the coding agent. And then, okay, you have the skills installed. So we use the skills. And then when you finish, test the agent to see everything works. And in this video, I basically copy the prompt, pass into the Claude Code. Okay, Claude Code, go. I switch to auto mode. So basically the next few minutes are just Claude Code, throwing file, edit file, implement the agent. And we can see in the directory here how it starts to create directory, the namespace, the agent, the tools. He has all the skills, so he can access how to build tools in Neuron AI, how to create the agent. Just moving a little forward. Okay, now here is just implementing all the code that Neuron AI needs to make the agent works. More toward the end. Okay, let me verify the agent makes, just testing to construct the entity, run the code. I think we are quite toward the end. Again, let me try the agent. It's just testing to use the agent. And finally, everything should go. Okay, it goes. So now I open, this is the directory that the project. So I can open my console. Difficult, okay. I go into the project directory. So I called it Neuron BI, okay, just to. And now I can call the agent. Just we can test to run the agent and maybe ask agent, what about the top 3 categories of products in the last month? Okay, double dimension query. So the script now is trying to running the agent. It depends by the network now. Okay, here is. It's calling the tool to analyze this database schema. Now running the select, and here is the result with tables, analytics results. So it's basically an e-commerce assistant. Okay. So if we have another 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so we can run Claude here, because now the problem is that the agent forget. You know, agents are stateless because the LLM are stateless. So maybe we can ask Claude Code to add file chat history to the agent. I think just a simple prompt should be enough, because Claude Code has the skills of neural analysis. Now try testing. Yeah, interesting. I wasn't called. Okay, just to explore the chat history. And see if Claude is really able to perform this task. So as I said, the memory is important here, because now in Neuron AI, there is this concept of chat history that basically allows you to store the conversation that you perform with the agent. So when you start a new session, basically the agent can load the entire previous conversation and continue from there. It's okay. Okay, edit, yes. It add the file chat history to the agent. And it finishes. So now I go out of Claude Code. Maybe we can ask the same question and go into the project directory. We should see a new file. I think, okay, this is the answer. I don't know where Claude can look at the agent class. It took into the database chat history. So we should have a database directory here with the chat history here, that it's basically the conversation, okay? But it's obviously is a JSON file that contains all the conversations. So now I can ask the agent maybe something related to this previous conversation. So HP agent, do you remember the last 3 top products? I don't know, maybe I forgot. Oh, no, okay. It's broken. It's broke. Yeah, this is a Claude Code fault. Maybe I don't contributing at all with this value. Yeah, I don't want to make now spend time to fix, you know, the agent code. It was just to give you a sense
of now with framework and code tools, you can basically start building agent with agent, something interesting now. So thank you.
Hello. So thanks for the event. It's very nice, and thanks even to the other founders and creators. The projects are super nice. I want to put a question, but the question can be put to any projects. Me myself, I'm a programmer. I have I'm an expert of cybersecurity, and I have a startup that tackles the problem of security for the AI agents. And I wanted to know if your projects, but even your framework and their projects, how do they approach the problem of security? For example, I didn't know about this framework, but sounds like the PHP, like LangGraph or QI for PHP, something similar.
Yeah.
Do you have any SDK? Do you have any specific approach? Do you ship your product with a containerization? I don't know, some protecting system, or I don't know, virtual machines or something like that. I mean, did you tackle the problem, or you expect the developer to take the problem by themselves? So I mean, I'm interested in how do you, if your project ship with some solution within, or just let the programmer solve the problem.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So Neuron AI, it's not a final product. Neuron AI, it's a framework. Basically, make developers able to build agentic applications. So it's on their side to take care of the good security of their final product that they are going to create. For us, the security problem was about, vulnerability, like any other external dependency, because at the end of the day, Neuron will be included into a more complex application as a dependency. So we look at the security of the project from this angle, and we basically run constantly on every PR, on every code edit, on every contribution, on every bug fix. We run security review with coding agents, basically with two different models to have two different, point of view on these specific tasks that are memory leaks, computational problems, this kind of stuff that make safe for developers include the framework in their project. That's
I have another question about the use case that you showed. I'm very interested in SQL queries. And so it's a silly question. Have you stress test the agent for querying, I don't know, really big queries, big tables, and how much token did you spend for that particular use cases of massive extraction, for example?
Yeah, consider that into Neuron AI, there are already toolkits ready to use, and these toolkits were already past the security review, efficiency review. You can, take out from the toolkit writing tools and destructive actions, so you can just take only the safe part of what you want to build. But it's an open canvas. You have really the freedom following the component pattern to build whatever you want. So we provide the most common use cases with these built-in components, but starting from that, you can go wherever you want.
Okay, no, thank you. I was just curious about for example, if I had to query 1,000.
Yeah, something interesting. For example, about these SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL toolkits is they are built in a way that the first time the tool is in the toolkit is used, the agent extracts the schema and the schema of the database to understand all the tables, the relation between the tables, the fields, and this is performed just the first time. All other interactions are just querying the database to find the information the agent needs to respond the prompt you're sending it.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Votes are open, so you can vote right now. I see some people that are doing it, but please do more. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Peter.
Now it's me. Me too. Your turn.
Mazza HQ. Ma tu vuoi aspettare? No, io dico Mario, non vorrei rompere, però non vorrei rompere ora che c'è tutto il database. Che stanno nella cosa. Però solo faccio gli screen. No. Ok, adesso faccio gli screen. No, dai, vediamo. Se vediamo. Sul page. Non vuole rompere niente. Tanto c'è tutto su database, uno dovrebbe rompere. Serve qualcosa? Pronti? Sì. Aspetta, vediamo un minutino per votare. Aspetta. Sì, tanto loro possono votare anche durante la presentazione.
Alcolicamente? È acceso qui?
No, ancora.
Ah, no, me lo devi accendere.
Sì, la classifica del gioco. La accende proprio?
Sì.
Se non prendo la schermata, butto dentro codice, facciamo una presentazione slide in cui faccio quello di video.
Nei 2 minuti in
Questo
cui
diciamo
mi trattengo.
Va bene. Questo diciamo. Vediamo al massimo.
Ok, ci sei?
Sì.
Ok. Okay, here we have Adam with these 158 agents. So,
yeah, I start to speak about my story in the beginning.
Excellent.
No,
Everyone got it? Yes. Everyone got
Sì,
it?
perché ora lo volevo accendere per far vedere quello che sto fondamentalmente, perché sono proprio... Ah, ok.
Sì, se no si spiega.
Vai, vai. E ho caricato però.
Aspetta che si stanno a caricare. A caricare poi le cose, vediamo un po' se ce la faccio.
Ok.
Dovrebbe essere... Sta streamando. Aspetta. Ecco qua, perfetto.
Ok, cool.
Ah, devo poi mettere... Ok. Hi everybody, my name is Adam. So, this way.
There's a microphone over there, so don't get
Okay.
too far away from it. No, you're there, you're fine.
Hi everybody, my name is Adam. So, just want to start a little bit about introducing myself, who I am. I never build up nothing by code and never study developing agency, nothing. I was pretty much curious about OpenClaw 3 months ago when I started and everybody was speaking about it on Instagram much earlier, of course, but I started to focus in on it 3 months ago. And so everybody was speaking a lot about the issue, the security and everything. As I had a MacBook that, yeah, is good, but not that good, I finally decided to get my VPS. So get away from all the important stuff that I have here on my machine and deploy it completely on the cloud. So I always was fascinated about Tron, Matrix, Avengers, like all these, was like my dream from when I was a kid. And when I saw OpenClaw, for me, just opens the world, literally, and the thing that you can do, the thing it's infinite. I mean, not just running a business, but also be your assistant, you can literally bring him also into a robot if you want to, and can live with you. Now I'm also focusing on a project that it's related to that, and that's the cool thing. I've never been a developer in my life, never wrote a single code, and so in the beginning I started with OpenClaw that had a lot of issue, all the time was broken, and as I say, this gentleman over here, that some developers sometimes they want to throw away everything, and they just don't want to deal with that anymore because it was too much of a headache. But I saw that as the future, like an early stage of the internet, the early stage of pretty much something pretty big and strong. So now I need to bring the screen over there, like how does it work?
Share screen. No?
The share screen, yeah?
Yeah.
The display. Mirror the display.
Yeah. Yes.
Si vuoi fare così,
Okay. Okay, as you see here, I have my Telegram app. So the cool thing about the first thing was simplicity. Like something need to be super easy for me to access and manage. So I have over here 2 agents mainly that I work every time. Just right now, OpenClaw got stuck, got broken, because he was working on a model, and that's also the thing about understanding what you're working on and what you have. Like I used to have Kimi 2.2 from Moonshot, but sometimes have some issues, so I changed it to DeepSeek V4 Pro that is much reliable at the moment, as I'm using an Olama cloud-based key API. So that's also helped me out a lot. And so, yeah, pretty much I have these 2 channels where Hermes is my coding agent that does all the heavy job, and Cash is like pretty much my CEO that can spawn from 5 to 158 agents, of course, not at the same time, because then all the usage of my API key will be completely over. So I would just want to do a test. Okay, Hermes, it's showtime. Please make your magic. So I can also speak with him by vocal, no problem, all the time. And also Cash. Okay, Cash, I hope you're fixed now. Please do your magic, it's showtime. And so now, slowly, of course, with Hermes I had a little bit of issue. Let's type it.
What model are you using for translation? No, not
Yeah.
translation, for voice to text.
Super team, something like new. Unfortunately, my accent, that's the problem. It's too Roman, you know? So that's unfortunate. Here we go. But I pretty much created a script for today, for this time. That will be the showtime kind of command. And that's, as you see, is typing it. Now, Cash is taking a little bit longer sometimes for his gateway, but the cool thing about the Hermes Hermes bot is very, very fast. He can pretty much all the time develop himself in a better way, be a better agent for my task. He have a profile user of me. He knows me. You know, sometimes I get angry with him. Sometimes, sometimes LLM can be very frustrated. But pretty much he knows my environment. He knows my persona. So we get along very, very easily. So yeah, Cash now is taking a little bit longer, but while he's doing his magic, we go also. I managed to create a group that's Mazza HQ, and over here, as you see, you have all the agents that speak together, and they confront each other, can help each other. Sometimes, as you see before, Hermes told me that cache was down, so he kind of fixed it. Still give me like all the reports and everything. So as here you go, caches we got fresh. So he can post actually also on my X profile. I told him just to post some tweets about this event of today. And as Elon Musk asked for €100 of API key, I found a way to avoid completely that through pretty much give him the cookie of my session. And we found ways, you know, to avoid pretty much, I don't know, paying expensive features like API keys for X posting, for example. And so I just like made today, right now, a little HTML file regarding Jarvis. That's the new agents that I'm trying to build all together. So as I told you before, I loved Iron Man from when I was a kid. So the idea of building up a Jarvis infrastructure where I can be kind of inside, you know, speak with him, interact with other agents, kind of tell me what's going on in the world at the moment, you know, was like one of my dreams from when I was a kid. So pretty much, as you see here, fortunately in Italian, change it very quickly. You have all the agents, the main one. So you have the Jarvis command center. As you see, you have the 10 containers doc, and then the cache claw is my CEO strategist. Rocky is my security operation. Rocky, because I do boxing, I love Rocky Balboa, so I thought the Rocky is the best, pretty much agent figure for be my security guard, as you say.
Not for Project Hail Mary.
Exactly. And Hermes is my senior developer. And see, fully is up, Jarvis. Okay. And that's the interface that I just created. So it's just something about 2 days, of like a weekend project. Now I think because
Good evening, sir. Jarvis online, all systems nominal. OpenClaw agent fleet cache claw, Herms and Rocky are operational and awaiting your command.
Hey Jarvis, can you open intelligence deck? Anyway, still have some bugs sometimes, but that's pretty much the idea. In 2 days, so the idea is you have here all the main agents that show you live. Then you have all the time here, like pretty much I like to have this to add all the time new tools from GitHub, because GitHub, of course, is like the Bible of open source, and we love open source as OpenClaw. So every time there is a new thing, I like to add it here. So till now, I added the Nexus deck. That will be like my infrastructure brain cells that were
VPS Nexus link established, sir. Map network topography and service nodes are active.
I should open up the interface. Okay. So as you see here is like how my my Jarvis work. So you have some commands like run a cognitive scan, and you will see here how everything will work together. I hope, of So you see these dots, they're going, it's taking a little bit too long because it's a bit heavy, I need to. But as you see here, all the codes that pretty much the gateway, the air core, the orchestrator is doing it to pretty much understand also the interface that we have. Sorry, it's too heavy for maybe the connection that we have.
Okay, but I think the concept is clear. Maybe we can go to Q&A.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, open the votes. And I have a question.
Yeah.
So my problem is always with these like agents like OpenClaw, Hermes is the context that there is inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many times if you do it control the context like in the memory, like in the logs?
I install two tools, very useful. One is very similar to his, that's Obsidian. So pretty much get all the context through a dedicated vault of
so you can see
sessions.
the folder structure on Obsidian.
Yes, okay. Yes. And then also Git Nexus, that's pretty much another tool that calls, doesn't go and read, but do everything through vectorial interfaces. So it's much more linear. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have a question. So I have a question. So those four guys over there.
Yeah.
So it's Rocky, Cash, Hermes, Jarvis. These are all running on different agentic infrastructure.
Yes, all standalone different. So pretty much all individual, but they all have the same access to each one. So they pretty much are entangled in a way that
so they share the same
infrastructure. It's like they're four living in the same house.
So if I remember properly, Cash is running OpenClaw, Hermes.
And Rocky is a new infrastructure that's called OpenHuman that have like more personality, like. And Jarvis is the one that I created for today in these 2 days.
Based on what?
Based on pretty much all architecture mixed together.
Okay. Questions? Questions?
Just
I have another question. Okay, go.
No, just the architecture is on GitHub or it's on your computer?
No, it's my computer because still in development. But maybe in a few weeks I will push something.
No, just okay, yeah. So all the agents are installed on your computer. No one is on VPS.
No, all are on VPS.
Okay, but they have access to your computer folder. So where is the folder with all the context?
On the VPS.
On the VPS.
Yeah, everything is on the VPS.
On the same VPS.
I have the access from my computer when I want to, but pretty much because I always outside the house, so I use the phone pretty much with Telegram. That's.
And what is the most helpful use case for you for all this? What that helps you really in your life?
In my life, to be honest, to social. That's very
managing social
media. Yeah. Social media. Also, I'm studying a lot right now, so I'm like kind of didn't do nothing on production yet. I have I'm working on an app that's organize all the how can I say reviews from different apps to one app to yourself. So if you have like advice and all that, you can manage it from one app, and also app that's concentrated on security because that's always like a main issue. I call it Hunter Shield, so that's pretty much it.
Questions? Voting is it voting?
Voting is open. It will be open a little bit more, so please vote. And I can ask to the last one, Pecus chain, Marco. Perfect. So please join us for the last demo, and then we will reveal the results and also eat pizza. So very good thing. I will do good things. So perfect. Still voting opens, and I will close when I will open the Pecus chain ones. So let's open it. Aspetta, dovrebbe... ci mette solo un po'. Eccolo qua, ce l'abbiamo.
Yes, un attimo che trovo. Oh, eccolo qua. Vai. Good evening, everyone. I'm Marco. I'm co-founder of Pecus Chain. What is Pecus Chain? It's a deep tech startup that is working in dairy sector, and in particular, so we are talking about cows and buffaloes. What is our objective? Our objective is to reduce milk losses in dairy farms and improve animal welfare. So basically, what I will show you today is a workflow that has run this night, because all the things that you will see here basically is like an invisible infrastructure that is working with scheduled batches and produce an output which is basically a WhatsApp message. Because we are talking with farmers, and farmers do not like computers and dashboards and something like this. So the concept is pretty simple. Here for this use case, I'm considering a dairy farm of 161 cows, which is a small number, by the way. There are even big farms with thousands of cows. And we are managing now 5 farms. We have 5 pilot farms with a total number of animals of 1,055. 3 buffalo farms in Campania, because I'm from Campania, and 1 cow farm in the north. So what you see here, basically, this farm has 3 milking robots. Milking robots is a machine that allows the cow to be milked autonomously. So you have the cow that enter in the robot and the milking and go away. And also we have collars for detecting rumination data. So we integrate with the technology of the specific farmer. There are plenty of technologies, and we get this data. How do we get this data? Each day there is an ingestion job which is run locally on the machine of the farm, and by the way, is a custom developed software by ourselves. That's why before I asked about the SQL, yeah, because we take a lot of data from local database. Files scattered in the computer. So we take all this stuff, milking data, rumination data, and we send this data to our database, cloud database, where we run an inference job. Why we run an inference job? As I told before, we want to reduce milk losses, so we want to predict milk losses, and we use a machine learning models trained on our ontology of data, and based on that prediction, we find this pool of animal based on the prediction and also on the calculation of the animal welfare score, which is a metric that we built by ourselves and measure the volatility of the milk production. So the concept is pretty simple. If the cow is not producing, it means that has a problem. So we construct this pool of animals. Here in this example, we found these 10 animals. And each one of these many animals has been categorized deterministic way, not stochastic by the LLM, of course. And we produce, basically, we divide all the animals in categories of problems. Here you can find categories of pathologies, like metabolic pathologies, locomotion pathologies, and mammary pathologies. And then we let the agent do the work. We have 14 agents. Someone is specialized on pathology. Others are specialized in detecting patterns in all the earth. So basically, all these agents, given the category of the animal, does a deep analysis on all the data and find out which is, if the pattern, of course, is correct. For example, here it gives a 0.81 confidence score on that particular cow, the 960, which has detected a prediction of loss in milk production, in increase in conductivity, an increase in milk temperature, and the left rear quarter, so the left rear, mammar, I don't know how to say. By the way, it scored a high conductivity. So what does it mean? Probably it has a mastitis problem. And so the AI agent specialized on that particular problem gives in depth the analysis and gives out an action plan, an action to solve that particular problem. On the other hand, we also focus on health patterns. This because we don't want a system, an operating system that only gives you the action to cure a particular problem on that specific day, but we want to mitigate the root causes at this at a lower level. So basically, we want to avoid the problem that is causing stress on the animal. As I said, the output is pretty simple. Each day, all these plans are sent with a WhatsApp message on the phone of the farmer. We choose WhatsApp because it's the most common used instrument. As I said, they don't like to stay at the computer because they are farmer and they want to work with the cows. And so what is in this output? Of course, the list of animals at risk. Here, I just focused on the 960 with the mastitis risk. You can read all the analysis and the recommended action to be executed in the farm. Then you have the aggregate pattern, which is basically an analysis on all the cows that suffer the same problem. This is useful to find the groups that has common problems, because usually in a farm cows are organized by groups. So sometimes some groups have problems because I don't know. They have also competition between cows to the feed access. So you need to know where is localized the problem in the farm. And then we propose systemic intervention to mitigate that root cause. So in the particular case, it was a mastitis problem, and it suggests basically a dry-off protocol. The most important part is what happened after the feedback. Of course, the farmer will answer just by natural writing on WhatsApp if he executed the action or not, and also if he took the systemic intervention to avoid that problem at root cause. And this feedback is really useful for us because it goes in the decision dataset, a dataset, of course, of decision that allow to train decision models. So decision models, decision algorithm to prune of course, the intervention that weren't successful, and on the other hand, also gives a continuous improvement, feedback in continuous improvement, because of course, if we mitigate the root cause, then we can see if the effects are mitigated, then we can concentrate on the next root cause. This is following an industrial approach which is called world-class manufacturing. So basically, what we want to do with this is bring an operating system in the farm that act like a optimization model for the farmer to prevent milk losses and to increase the animal welfare. That's it.
And everything has been built with Claude.
No, not so. Claude and Codex. That's why.
And the agents that you use?
The agents are included. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have this pipeline that divide after the categorization, which is deterministic. All the workflow is divided in these 14 agents. So there is one particular agent that is focused on mastitis, one other agent which is focused on lameness. So they are like specialists in pharma, because also the in dairy industry, the operations are divided by category. So, for example, some of our farmers have a specialist in mastitis detection. So it's a person that each day goes in the farm and checks the udder of the cow, and others that are specialized in, I don't know, feed problems, for example.
Okay, I have another question. Votes are open, so please vote so we can also showcase the results. What feature did you use of Claude? Managed agents, or it's?
No, it's we just custom build it. It's
Okay.
like a series of API calls. Sometimes we use lighter models, sometimes we would use harder model, and we custom written the system prompt, which is the most important part.
Perfect.
So
please vote.
I understand well, which is something that we all do. We are very funny that you use LLMs to generate the deterministic part that then invokes the LLMs again. So you go from stochastic to deterministic to stochastic. Yeah. I have 1,000 questions. Of course, agri-food is something that I follow a lot. So I will really have 1,000 questions. Here I only have one question, and is what's the operational cost? I mean, managing, I don't know, one farmer. Did you make an estimate for yourself?
We have like for now operational cost. We are talking.
I'm talking about LLMs.
Only LLMs. So we don't. Okay.
So you're using Claude, right? You're using Claude.
Yeah. No, usually for now to manage 5 farms, we have like I think 100, 150.
Euros, dollars, a month, a day?
A month, sorry.
Okay.
A month.
So that's $30 a customer.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Of course, it's not optimized.
I have one last question. So I have no idea about milk production, so I'm sorry. But let's say that a farmer analyzes his milk, okay? Can he then put on the app, like, I've analyzed the milk coming from these groups of cows, and, this is not, these results are not what I intended?
Yeah, of course, something really important. In that particular case, you have that particular case milky robots that do also the milk analysis, because it's not so common because sometimes they do milk analysis on a schedule like one a month. Yeah, of course, we are testing the system, so we are taking both positive feedbacks and negative feedbacks, and this is essential for us, as we're saying, because building the decision data set is what will shift this, let's call it MVP, to a final product. So we are taking now a lot of pilot farms. We are searching for other pilot farms to have more feedbacks.
Oh, yes. Questions? No questions? Then I will do it. No, very interesting.
Last one, Peter, right? Last one that we have to close.
Oh my God. No, it's so if I understand well, here you're not using any permanency, or it's just you develop the algorithms that build the calls, interrogate the data, and
yeah, basically what the agent does is just given giving explanation based on data, but it does not do the calculation. Calculation are done by neural networks or machine learning models. So the deterministic part is not done by the LLM. The LLM just wrap up everything and produce the plan based also on lot of literature that are in, because of course when you have this, for example, this estimation, for sure it's kind of hard to match the exact amount of cost. So we are referring to literature, because there are plenty of common literature that talks about costs, etc. But then we will evolve to a more precise system when we will get a decision and we start measure, okay, this was the impact on the cow, this was the milk that we avoid the loss, and we compute all these metrics, basically.
So you even train your own networks?
The idea, is to continuously train everything.
That's stochastic, by the way. That's stochastic. Okay. Oh, I'm so sad. We're finished. Okay. Guys, you
last 30 seconds for voting.
And then we're going to the results.
Grazie mille.
So how are we going to present these results?
I don't know. Let's see what Claude built for us. Let's see what Claude built for us.
Okay, because I asked him, come on, you cannot just throw all the results in one slide.
So closing,
Let's build some tension. Like, let's get, some drums rolling, and for each category, you want to see.
Do you want each category? He didn't give me the right
So he had
prompt.
to change it on the fly while he was sitting there. And of course, he was very concerned that my last minute change bring all these systems. But Claude is so efficient and reliable. Okay, guys, you have to wait. Anyway, he has to do the data processing manually. Okay, so you have to wait, be patient. A few seconds. So how was the experience? Did you like this? Was it interesting?
Yes.
Yeah. No mission here, just about seeing what people are doing. I mean, compared to the use cases we had last time, there's been a progress. Yeah. I mean, a couple of months of development has left, a bit of a trace in what we're doing. Roberto, what are the next big appointments with Salon AI?
AI Salon.
AI Salon.
Well, the dates have been fixed yet, okay, or whatever. But there is an event that's being planned for July, which should be very interesting. And obviously, everything will be put online and announced in due course. We are waiting for an answer from someone pretty interesting to have on board for the panel.
Italian or foreign?
He's Italian. So, oops, I said it's a he.
It's
anyway.
a he and it's an Italian.
Yeah, so I've given away too much already.
So
but anyway. But anyway, keep in touch. And by the way, I mean, give feedback, okay, on Luma. Please do give feedback. I do not get offended. It's a learning process. So the more feedback you can give, apart from it was fantastic. Okay, I'm convinced. But where you see that there can be some improvement, and if you see that there was something that went amiss or whatever, please do mention it. Okay, do not be shy. I mean, there are some people who give great feedback, I think what do we have next? Pizza and beer, no?
Yes. First of all, we need to.
I don't know if it's.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, no, don't go away. Come, I didn't get my last word. Stay here, entertain your audience. So.
Yeah, please them a little bit.
So yeah, but
No, just one thing that I wanted to say is that it's cool that most of the slides deck right now look the same in a very close style. Did you see that, right? But yeah, but the last one, I don't know who used Gamma for the. No, you used HTML, plain HTML. It was so cool actually. Gamma, yeah. Because yeah, Gamma with Claude is very easy to connect. But the HTML one, interactive one, I also tried to do that, and it was amazing. Yeah. If you have a little bit of taste, these tools are really powerful.
So, do you have to connect to the screens or?
Now let's see.
It's okay. It's okay like this.
Oh, come on. He did it. I mean,
Maybe.
bravo, Claude. Huh? So, how do we start?
First of all, we have to be connected.
So you're right, okay.
Okay.
Here come the results.
We are going to from the last to the most the winner.
From the last to the
By category, right? Starting by category.
No, not by category.
Just from last to the
So
first.
we don't have winners by category. Okay.
Let's see what Claude did is. So for the first place, fifth place, sorry, Noesis hiring.
Noesis hiring.
Yeah.
Well,
With 2.82. Fourth place. Fourth place, Neuron AI. Third place, Mazza HQ. OpenClaw. Second place, Pecus Chain. And the first one now it's obvious. Also Tolaria. So 3.25 Claude versus 3.63 OpenClaw.
The Open wins.
Perfect.
Yeah. Wow, this is super.
And la classifica.
No, he created a new one. Let's see. No, it's the same.
It's updated.
No.
Yeah. Poi lo condivido, no? Ma me lo fai il rosa? T'assomiglia, no?
As you want.
Vai. Ok, aspetta, 3, 2, 1, aspetta. Vai. No, aspetta. Vai.
By category. Wow, well done. Nice.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah,
Very
this
cool.
is all by categories. Perfect. Thank you so much.
We've got pizza and beers in the back.